I hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, family? It's Hot Boxing Minute, your favorite pharmaceutical engineer turned boxing analyst, back at you with that uncut realness, because real and exact and uncut raw is the only way I'm fixing to serve it to you. Am I allowed to talk about something other than Terrence Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence? Can I talk about something else other than that? All the comment sections are lit up with nothing but talk about that, and I get it. Everyone wants to ride the divisiveness train. This clique arguing with that clique, the pro Bud Crawford against the pro PBC people. But boxing goes on, folks. There is a lot of good fights going on at the end of this year. And we got some fights coming up this weekend. And I got to talk about it because I'm not going to stay stuck on talking about fights that aren't happening and going off on hypothetical tangents about stuff that is none of my business and really none of our business, because none of us know what's going on behind closed doors with these contract negotiations with Bud and Spence. Anyways, the end of the year is going to be dope. We have Hiroto Kayaguchi that's going to be fighting Taraji to end the year. We've got the return of Lomachenko. This weekend alone coming up, we've got the return of JoJo Diaz. He's going to be fighting William Zepeda. I mean, there's so many good fights coming up to end this year that we can't just hang up boxing on one thing. So I'm going to talk about the fight coming up this weekend in my city of San Diego. Pop the collar. We're going to get JoJo Diaz versus William Zepeda headlining a Golden Boy promoted event out there at the, what is it called? The Pechanga Arena. So for those of you that don't know, I live, eat, sleep, and breathe this boxing thing. I'm in the gym all the time. My gym actually is in the same parking lot as the gym. Is in the same parking lot as the Pechanga Arena, which is where they're going to be hosting this boxing event. It's going to be my third or fourth time going to a major boxing event out there at the Pechanga Arena. Before that, it was called the San Diego Sports Arena. It was where Ken Norton fought Muhammad Ali. It's an old venue, and it's the best one we got for boxing as far as boxing is concerned in San Diego. So, without further ado, we got JoJo Diaz. He's going to be fighting William Zepeda. I like JoJo Diaz. If you follow the lightweight division, the 135-pound division, you're familiar with JoJo Diaz. He started off as a 130, 126, moved up some divisions, had some cool fights in his history. His current record is 32-2-1 with 15 knockouts. So he's not exactly the most heavy-handed dude. 29 years old. His only losses is 32-2-1 record. His only two losses are against Devin Haney and Gary Russell Jr. If I had to say which would be his best win was probably against Tevin Farmer. But JoJo Diaz is a really good, crafty southpaw. He's 5'6" with a 64-inch reach. I would say he is a boxer puncher with a lot of really good boxer features. He has a deep amateur pedigree, represented Team USA in the Olympics, so he's got the skill set down. And I wouldn't say he's just a straight-up puncher. He's definitely got a lot of method to his madness. And he gave a good fight against Devin the Dream Haney, who we know is a technical boxer of the highest caliber. And he made it quite a competitive fight, in my opinion. He caught Devin Haney quite a few times. So he's had those two losses. He's going up against William Zepeda, 26 years old, a.k.a. El Camarón, who has kind of developed himself a bit of a cult following amongst fans down south and Chicano Mexican fans out here in the southwest region of the United States. William Zepeda is 26-0 with 23 knockouts, so he's getting the stoppages. He is also a southpaw, much like JoJo Diaz. His dimensions are 5'9" with a 69.5-inch reach, so he's got 5.5 inches of reach and about 3 inches of height on his opponent, JoJo Diaz. He does not have as much experience as JoJo Diaz. On that, you got to give JoJo Diaz the head nod on the experience. JoJo Diaz has fought Tevin Farmer. Like I said earlier, he's fought Devin Haney. He's fought Gary Russell Jr. He might have lost, but he didn't get knocked out. He went the whole distance with them. William Zepeda, his last fight was a unanimous decision against Nicaragua's Rene Alvarado, a former regular super featherweight champion, if I'm not mistaken. Rene Alvarado was a tough dude. I didn't think he was going to get the stoppage against Rene Alvarado. He's one of those guys that just makes it hard for you to get a win. And you might win against him, but you're not going to knock him out. It's going to be a tough fight the whole time. It was really anticlimactic. But prior to that, he was getting stoppage after stoppage after stoppage. His biggest win was against Robert Garcia's understudy, Hector Tanajara Jr. Hector Tanajara is still looking good in his own right, but William Zepeda is a volume puncher. Now, I wouldn't classify JoJo Diaz as a volume puncher at all. JoJo Diaz is definitely more selective with his shots, but he is good at applying relentless pressure, so it's going to be fascinating in this fight. You got two southpaws. Both of them have a style that pretty much predicates that they apply non-stop pressure, where JoJo Diaz is a bit more technical and crafty in his approach to fighting. You got William Zepeda, who is a volume puncher. William Zepeda will drown you if you let him drown you. But I do believe that JoJo Diaz is crafty enough to not let William Zepeda overwhelm him with volume. I don't know what the betting odds are, but if I had to take a guess, I would guess that JoJo Diaz, oddly enough, is coming into this the underdog. I'm going to lean on JoJo Diaz's experience in this matchup. I think he's going to get the win by decision. It really is kind of a make or break fight for JoJo Diaz. Although he has only lost to some of the toughest competition in that division, if he really has any aspirations of being next in line to challenge Devin Haney, I guess, who has the undisputed, if he really wants to keep his name marketable and keep his name in the championship contention race, he's going to have to beat William Zepeda Jr., William Zepeda. El Camarón has been looking for a fight, a marquee fight to make his name. Needless to say, he's kind of been avoided in the lightweight division. Very dangerous, very high-risk fighter with low reward for, at the time, when fighters had championship belts. You know, you had Teofimo Lopez, who was unified for a minute there. Then it went to George Kambosos Jr. So William Zepeda has been grinding. It's his moment. Maybe he proves something. So I'm thinking JoJo Diaz wins by decision. Maybe possibly a majority decision or a split decision. I think it's going to be a tough fight for both fighters. I don't think either of them gets stopped. Maybe somebody falls, but I'm not even sure if that happens. Boxing community. For those of you familiar with El Camarón, William Zepeda, and JoJo Diaz, how do you see this fight play out? Let me know in the comments section. Let's chop this one up. Really quick side note. One of the undercards to that one is going to be a very popular Southern California fighter based out of Santa Ana, born in Irvine, Alexis Rocha. Alexis Rocha is 21-1 with 13 knockouts. He is 5'10" with 70 inches of reach. He's going to be fighting a relatively unknown fighter, Jesus Antonio Perez from Tijuana, who was 24-3-0 with 18 knockouts. All three of those losses on the end of Jesus Antonio Perez Campo, but I guess he's going to go by Jesus Antonio Perez, was against Danielito Zorrilla, Carlos Diaz, and Ruslas Madiev. Now, the main key, the one I paid attention to was the Danielito Zorrilla. He went the whole distance with Danielito. Danielito just recently caught an L against Arnold Barbosa. I guess Arnold Barbosa is that guy that everyone thinks is going to be the one to dethrone or beat Teofimo Lopez. I'm not even sure how that's going to work, but I'm still not sold on Arnold Barbosa, I'll be honest, but I could be proven wrong. Daniel Barbosa is a solid dude. He beat Danielito Zorrilla, a tough guy from Puerto Rico. Jesus Antonio Perez is definitely up against the wall against a guy like Alexis Rocha, but if under the right coaching and the right tutoring, Jesus Antonio Perez might be able to pull off the upset and overturn the apple cart. You guys want to pay attention to that fight because Alexis Rocha is gaining a lot of momentum. His last win was against Luis Alberto Veron. It was a decision. Before that, he got that stoppage win over Blair the Flair Cobbs, the loudmouth guy trained under Eddie Roach. And that was definitely a good win to get in the victory column for Alexis Rocha. It was a stoppage win. So Alexis Rocha gained a little bit of momentum after that Blair Cobbs win, and he's been active ever since. So he isn't going on a long period of inactivity. I like this matchup. It should be entertaining for the fans. I suggest you look out for that fight. Anyways, boxing community, it's going to be a short and sweet video. We got another fight video I'm going to make, I think, in the next day or two. So look out for that. This is How Boxing Minute, y'all, the future of boxing analysis on YouTube and TikTok. We ain't talking about politics on this video, y'all. Sorry. Peace.